sensible or ridiculous. So, I think the WBC, there's going to be boxing's, maybe possibly, boxing's new super cruiserweight division. Is this a sensible move? I think it's with the WBC, I believe. I need to do a bit, look into it a bit more because it's been floating around all over the place. Yeah, here it is, the WBC, the British Boxing Board of Control, are in advanced talks talking about it could be a, super cruiserweight division. Do you guys want to see a super cruiserweight division? Is that anything interesting? Is that something, the boxing fans or, we really want to see? Super cruiserweight division? Because Tony Bellew, as what do you call it, has made a few comments, and it's pretty interesting because Tony Bellew actually says, no, I'm enthusiastic about this because it will allow the small heavyweights and big cruiserweights to have a level playing field. I'm speaking from experience. Usyk is technically the best in the heavyweight division. He's a genius. He also said, but the one thing that they'll hold him back is his sheer his sheer size. He will not be able to beat the real big boys for that reason. Heavyweights are getting bigger and bigger. Look at Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua, Dillian White. They are all huge. They are huge. The new division is inevitable, and we need it for it to to get more apparent. So those are the words of Tony Bellew. So Tony Bellew seems to be in support, of a potential new super cruiserweight division. The WBC goes ahead with it and it gets traction financially. Maybe other sanctioning bodies, WBO, IBF, WBA, other sanctioning bodies will begin to have belts for a super cruiserweight division. Is this something of interest to you? What current heavyweights would actually drop into that division? Deontay Wilder could be in there. Usyk could be in there. Povetkin could be in there. Joseph Parker, I think. I'm trying to think of thinking of the guy's size because I can't remember the exact weight, but I think Parker maybe could be in there potentially. Michael Hunter could be in a weight category like that. Maybe some other cruiserweights in the Glovacki, some other cruiserweights, Gassiev maybe could be in a division like that. For me, it's all about the money. The fighters are going to look at the money. Super cruiserweight division is never going to be as viable as the heavyweight division. Plain facts, plain and simple. Everybody wants to see big guys knocking themselves out, as ridiculous as it sounds. And all this, super cruiserweight division, will Deontay Wilder really drop down there? I don't think so because the heavyweight division is always the big money division. As like it or not, cruiserweights and all these other weight categories, unless you've got that personality, like Mayweather was, if Mayweather's one of the few, Floyd Mayweather, one of the few guys down in the weight classes to really generate a lot of money, and he generated it based on fans' animosity to himself. Not that people really like to watch that division like that, because the knockouts are sparse. Not many knockouts, just good skills, boxing quick, but people want to see knockouts. And knockouts is in the heavyweight division. Not saying that knockouts won't happen in the super cruiserweight division. It's just more likely to happen in the heavyweight division. Bigger names, bigger fighters, because even if the smaller heavyweights moved out of the the main heavyweight division into the super cruiserweight division, AJ still in the heavyweight, Fury still in the heavyweight, Ortiz is still in the heavyweight, Andy Ruiz will still be in the heavyweight division. Most of the main fighters are still, like, the big names, current big names are still there. Like, to me, I prefer, listen, I prefer to just the heavyweight division stay the way it is, for my opinion. If Usyk can beat the big heavyweights, let him try and beat them. Leave the heavyweight division the way it is. All this super cruiserweight stuff, I'm not really interested, because if there is a super cruiserweight division, wouldn't that just destroy the actual cruiserweight division? Because some of the cruiserweights will move up from cruiserweight into super cruiserweight, and then you're starting to have more sparse actual cruiserweight division. So, just adding more weight categories, because I saw somewhere, I think Floyd Mayweather he was saying we need to reduce, some of this kind of stuff. I think they should just leave it the way it is, to be honest. If you can move up, and pick up, do well in heavyweight division, so be it. There's some big cruiserweights that can be heavyweights. You don't need making super cruiserweight, to compensate. You know, because it doesn't even make sense. Most of these super cruiserweights are gonna move into heavyweight division anyway because of the money. So what is the point? You know, they're trying to do it because they want to have a better, like, where's what Tony Bellew said? You know, he said that, you know, so it's a level playing field. No, isn't boxing about challenging yourself to beat the best? Level playing field. You know, Evander Holyfield moved up from the cruiserweight division into the heavyweight division, and he beat Mike Tyson. He moved up. He did well in the heavyweight division. There's no, cruiserweights can move up and do well. You know, and who's to say Usyk can't do well in heavyweight? He hasn't even fought any of the. Let's see how he does against Chisora. Let's see how he does against AJ. He stylistically would give AJ a lot of problems. You know, just because you're small, don't mean you can't give the big heavyweights issues. Doesn't mean that. People say, oh, this is small, and Andy Ruiz is shorter. That obviously is big, but he's shorter than Joshua. He gave Joshua a lot of problems. Michael Hunter, I guarantee you, Michael Hunter will give a lot of these big heavyweights a nightmare. Just because they're small doesn't mean they can't, you know, weight is not everything. With weight comes slower fighters most of the time, and the speed of these cruiserweights, obviously they weigh less. You know, some of them could get thrown around like a rag doll, but don't underestimate the ability of these quicker cruiserweights moving up into the heavyweight division and causing heavyweight some nightmares. So, you know, all this super cruiserweight, I want to see the best guys fighting the best. I don't want Deontay, Wilder, Usyk, and all these guys dropping into super cruiserweight. And then, so what? We're not going to see Usyk, Joshua. We're not going to see Wilder fight AJ. We're not going to see Parkway. What? Come on, man. Leave it the way it is. Drop your comments in the comment section below. What do you think about what I've said? What do you think about this super cruiserweight talk? Is it sensible? Do you want to see it? Drop your comments again. Jab subscribe button. Detonate the right hand on that bell button. Do all that good stuff. Share this video. Cool.